Welcome to this motivational web series. We have been talking to Mr. Prem Kumar, who had been a very, very successful teacher, as a TGT, PGT, then vice principal, and then principal, and getting so many awards, involving himself in so many activities in the school, in the conference, especially in Gulf, for the last 35 years, more than 35 years in the Gulf. And now, Mr. Prem Kumar, you are with the Bhavan's school in Kuwait, that is known as Indian Educational School, since 2010. You have been a tele-counselor for CBSE schools, not only in Kuwait, but in UAE, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. What is the role of tele-counselor?
Well, today we are far away from the mainland, as our motherland, India, where we have not as much resources as we normally have in back in India. For students to, get counseled, or students to get support from an outside agency, because we are living in the Middle East. And that being the case, the CBSE has appointed number of tele-counselors in Kuwait, as well as in Oman. When I was in Oman, I was tele-counselor there too. And the role of a tele-counselor basically is to reduce the stress in parents as well as in students, who are especially not able to perform to their full potential due to various reasons, and who are losing their self-confidence and who fail to believe in themselves. So the tele-counselor is playing a very, very active role, not just in the Middle East. Even in India, we have a number of tele-counselors in various cities appointed by CBSE. And I've been very fortunate to have been a tele-counselor for last 16 years and serving the student community. What you mentioned about being in UAE and in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a mentor for the schools.
Okay.
Yes, I was a mentor for the schools in UAE and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as well as 2 schools in Delhi and 3 schools in Kuwait. That is for the institution. I was a mentor, CBSE mentor. Tele-counselor was only for the children of Oman, and also the children of Kuwait.
Now, this is the time, now board examination is going to take place very soon, and children must be busy with their, preparation for board exam for 10th and 12th. And during this time, I'm sure the tele-counselor must be flooded with many emails and calls.
Yes. Let me tell you one success story of my tele-counseling in Kuwait. 4 years back, I received a SOS call on my phone from an unknown number. And it was from a school that is not in Abbasiya area, but elsewhere outside. I wouldn't like to say which location that is.
Okay.
So the mother called me up and said that she was in tears, and she informed me that my child wants to drop this year and doesn't want to take a class 10 examination. So I asked her why. So the mother said the teachers in the school, after the pre-board exam, were very, very, annoyed and aggressive towards my daughter. And she feels terribly lost and doesn't want to appear for this examination. And she's saying she will not write.
Okay.
So I said, this is a very, very sad, incident that the teachers have treated her so badly.
Yeah.
And I really apologize on behalf of those teachers for being so, cruel to this child.
Cruel, we must say, yes.
I wanted to use the word cruel. Yeah, I didn't get any. I didn't get any suitable word. So it is a cruel activity by the teachers in making the child feel useless. So therefore, I request that the child be allowed to continue, and I will speak with her, and I will give her all the support, and she will write. So I telephonically spoke to the child, and I told her, come to my school on a Saturday. I want to meet you. So the parents brought her to my office on a Saturday morning, the very next Saturday morning. And I spoke to her. She was in tears, and she was not willing to take the exam. She said, I was really insulted in front of the whole class.
She was so depressed. Yeah.
She was very depressed. So I somehow managed to convince her that this all will happen. And you just have to write the exam now. Pre-board is over. You don't have to go to the school anymore and face these teachers. You just write, and I will help you with your studies. And I started my coaching on telephone once or twice in a week. And you won't believe if I tell you today, she scored 91% in class 10.
Wow.
Yes. And the parents finally, were relieved, and they said, we will not continue this institution. And she joined us in our school. And she finished her +2 with a 95%.
Great.
Same child. So I feel that as a counselor...
That is the real role of the counselor, actually, and that you have done a wonderful job.
Yes, and I sent a report on this, and I did find one day in the Indians in Kuwait, when I was appointed as the counselor, there's a news that was published in the Indians in Kuwait. I did see the mother of this child write anonymously this particular incident.
So usually, Mr. Prem Kumar, what kind of anxiety do you find among students, and that they need really counseling, from the senior principals? What kind of anxiety do they have?
The main anxiety, I should say, is a parental pressure. The parents are tormenting them with their past scores and the results, and reminding them that they would fail, or they would score low marks, or they would say that, we are paid so much advance into a particular university, and if you don't score well, you will not get admissions over there. So the negative talk, I believe, is the main anxiety for the children.
I think parents
more than anything else.
Parents should make a note of it.
Yes. I tell our parents that when our children don't do well, you leave it to me. I will be accountable, responsible, and I shall answer if anything goes wrong. I am responsible. So the onus is taken by me when it comes to such kids in my school.
So what is your advice to the parents?
My advice to parents is just support the children by being with them and encouraging them, and say that they are not worried about the marks, do whatever they can do their best, and forget about the marks and the grades.
Yeah.
Children will automatically do much better.
I think this is the time when really children, they need a lot of parental support.
Yeah.
And the parents should give them free time, and the parents should trust their children.
Correct. Today at the farewell also, many parents were asking me, will my child do well? Will my child pass, etc. I said, never talk anything negative. You just tell your child you can do very well, and you will come out with flying colors.
Yeah.
And child will do it. See, when the teachers and parents both pressurize a child, where will the child go? Either the house should be a place where there is some, positive energy, or the school should be a place where there should be some positive energy. If both the places are devoid of positive energy, what the child does? Will go to neighbor's place and spend time and waste the time crying over there.
Yeah, that positive energy is very important, and is needed. This is the high time, especially just before the examination, when they are preparing, they are, preparatory leave are there, and children are, most of the time they're spending at home, so the parents' support is very much needed.
Absolutely. Today, it is the school and the parents should support, especially Gulf children are very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Not that children in India are not sensitive, but here the children are more sensitive because they have less exposure to the outside world. And they know more their parents and the teachers and their friends.
Yeah.
They don't have any relatives here to go and, spend some time and relax and talk. No. So these children need extra care, and especially during the examination
And
time.
even they don't move easily like in India. The children, they move from one place to another with their friends. Here, that chance also they do not get.
They don't get. Once they go home, they are at home, unless they go for tuitions. That's why many children go for tuitions. Where do children go for tuitions here? Only to meet their people, friends, and spend some time, not for learning.
That's right.
Learning never happens in tuition center.
Never.
No,
Actually, especially in 10th and 11th and 12th, self-study is very, very important.
Yeah, I given timetable to children that morning hours they should study, read and study, and after 10 o'clock they should be writing and studying.
Mm-hmm. Here I was coming to that only, that as a very senior principal, as a very seasoned educationist, I would like you to give some tips to the students who are preparing for board examination, because this is high time now. Only few days are left; their exams are going to start. So this 10 days, 12 days, how they should start. They should prepare themselves for these exams.
The next 2 weeks, my timetable for children is wake up early in the morning and study until the breakfast time. Study means real good study of NCERT textbook, nothing else. Read the NCERT textbook, and after 8 o'clock, then have the breakfast, relax, watch the news or listen to music or do some exercise, whatever they want to do. And then after about an hour, they have to start solving question papers. They should solve as many questions as possible. And whenever they have a doubt in some question that they didn't do well, then they should make a call to their teachers or send a mail to the teacher. These days, communication is very, very fast. What my children, they do is after writing, they take a picture on their camera and then send it to me by WhatsApp. And they say, can you please read this and tell me if this is correct or not? So the moment I read, I say if it's correct, I say it's perfectly correct. If it's incorrect, I say it's incomplete. Read so-and-so page or read the notes given in the class once again. So until afternoon, they should spend solving a lot of question papers. They should have a nap in the afternoon and they should play in the evening. They should play in the evening.
Nap is also very important.
Yes, nap is very important.
Relaxing your mind.
Correct. And then they should go for cycling, swimming, playing, dancing. If girls need, they can dance. And then again at 5, they have to start solving the NCERT questions. NCERT questions are very important questions to be solved by students, especially in mathematics and physics. Most of the questions they ask from NCERT, and some of the solved questions in the exercise are also asked by the CBSE paper setters. And night, I wouldn't like any student to study after 11 o'clock. 11 should be the cutoff time, and they need 6 hours of sleep.
We have seen some students, doing studies overnight.
As psychology and medical science say that keeping awake in the night is not good for the brain. It accumulates. It accumulates the wrong protein around the neurons and the nerve cells, and the students don't think well clearly, and it is a waste of a time. Personally, I have never done that. I have never seen a time after 10 o'clock in my life, even till today, even now. No one can reach me after 10 o'clock. I go to sleep.
That's really great. If you have a schedule like that, early to bed and early to rise.
Yes, I wake up at 4:15 every day. I don't need alarm as well.
Yeah, you don't need, when your body becomes habitual of that.
Yeah, my body is conditioned to early sleep and early I wake up. Yes.
Yeah. Towards the end, Mr. Prem, I would like you to give tips to the students. Sometimes we see that, just before the night, before the day of the examination, that evening, they are very, very anxious.
That evening, the children should write the formulae. If it is chemistry or physics or maths, basic formulae, they should quickly write down as many what they can recall. And in the case of chemistry, there are standard conversions that they have to do. So do simple conversions and jot down the points of some of the application questions. And don't read anything much the night before the examination, because when you wake up in the morning, you forget everything what you did.
Yeah, and they should not. We have seen that many children, they carry their books, their notes to the examination center as well.
Yeah, it doesn't work
unless outside they're standing outside the center and they're opening books and having notes. I think that is useless.
No, that is they are watching people walking up and down and they're not concentrating on what they're reading even, except that the book is in their hand. Yeah. I don't think anything else happens, because I firmly believe, and my strong tip to my children is write and learn. Whatever you write, the fingers will know what you have written.
Yeah.
And whenever you write, your eyes are seeing what you have written. So you take an image, a picture of what you have written with your eyes, and with the hands you write. So I think that's a perfect way of learning than simply reading. Simply reading is a volatile process.
Yeah, I think that's very important, that whatever they learn, they must write down.
Yes.
They must have a lot of notebooks where they write, and these notebooks should be full of those exercises which they have learned.
Absolutely. My days, I used to use the diaries. New Year diaries, we never throw. We used to keep it for the month of March.
Yeah.
All the complimentary diaries my father used to get, we used to keep it for writing and learning all these things. We used to write and write and write.
Correct.
So that's a success.
Correct.
Yes.
That's, right. And I'm sure the tips that you have given to the students, they are certainly going to help them. And this is the right time. The children who would listen to our dialogue, our conversation, they will get benefit of this.
I wish that every student gets benefited, Dr. Anis.
Yeah. And thank you, Mr. Prem Kumar, for sparing your valuable time. I know you must have been very busy. And as a tele-counselor also, you are flooded with mails and calls.
Now children do send messages. There's a separate phone I have kept for students.
Yeah. Okay.
I receive all students' messages on my separate phone. I got a separate number. Yes.
So you must be having tough time these days.
Yeah, I'm happy.
That's our duty. We have to do that.
I'm happy serving them. Happy serving them. Yes.
That's right. Anyway, thank you for sparing your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. These were wonderful tips, and for a wonderful journey as a teacher in your career.
Thank you. Best wishes to everyone.
Oh, thank you. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Friends, that was our wonderful guest, Mr. T. Prem Kumar, the principal of Indian Education School, popularly known as Bhavan's School in Kuwait. He had given wonderful tips to the parents and to the students who are writing board examination for 10th and 12th. As a special request to the parents is that please do not pressurize your children. You have to give a lot of support, especially this is the time when children need parental support, because most of the time they are at home. I'm sure the children will follow the tips that Mr. Prem Kumar has given us during this conversation. I'm sure you liked this program, this conversation, so please like and share and subscribe to this channel, New India Education Trust Beyond Classroom. This is your own channel. Thank you. Shukriya. Dhanyavad. Have a great time.